Hello, my name is Slimboc, and welcome back to Long Live the Queen. Now, I gave this a small break after my couple of failure runs, and remember that I had a save file that started a couple weeks more back, so I've gamed it now, so I should end up being okay to fight. We'll find out, but I think I'm gonna kill the dude now. So I'm gonna keep on leveling up swords. That should be good enough to get him. Because there's no way I was getting decoration up. I mean, seriously, that's pretty silly, too. Okay, there we go. 50 and 50. So, reflexes and swords are now going to be 100. We're going to recruit some soldiers. We're going to direct the fleet. We're going to get angry. Now, let's see. You might as well just go strategy at this point. Get that up a little bit more. I thought I could already tour the barracks. Yay! Okay, we're gonna do strategy one more time. And do our pole arms, sure. Okay, here we go. I think I'm gonna get new choices. You expect the diplomats and a military representative, a general or an admiral. You did not expect the handsome man decked in jewels who now stands before you. A man announced by your servants as Togami, king of Shenjia. Is he really their king? Why would a king come all the way here? And he's a lumen, too. My dear young lady, how difficult this must be for you. So much responsibility at such a tender age. You yearn to slap the false sympathy off his oily face, but you force yourself to remain calm. War benefits no one, don't you think? Such a terrible waste. Better to sell things in a civilized manner. A contest, a game, so to speak, with Nova as the stakes. Should I win, then your domain will submit and accept me as overlord with no further resistance. Should I lose, then my army will leave your domain in peace and shed no more blood. What sort of game? It is well known that Nova is ruled by lumens. As it happens, I too possess the power of a lumen. I have proposed a formal duel. My power is against yours. The winner takes control of Nova, the loser dies. Your game by your rules for my life? That doesn't sound fair to me. The rules of formal dueling have been passed down for centuries and must be upheld. It is important that we do this by the ancient codes. Why should I? If you refuse, then the war will continue. I'll sweeten the deal. If you meet me in a formal lumen challenge, I'll call off the invasion even if I win. Really? I swear by the gods, Nova will be free and safe. Why take that risk? You're winning the war. It is not your land that I want, it's your crystal. To gain your power, I am willing to wager my own. Shall we begin? I can sense his power. It's strong. I've learned everything I possibly could, but he's at least as good as I am. I don't like this, but what choice do I have? Accept. Then I must. Togami explains the rules of formal dueling to you, including a carefully inscribed circle of wards, which will contain the effects of any powers you wield, protecting bystanders from danger. And then it is time to begin. You trade attacks, one spell is sensed and countered by another, reserving your strength as much as possible. It might almost be exciting if your life wasn't on the line. You need to end this quickly before his experience allows him to come up with a trick you can't defeat. He's used to dealing with magical attacks, but he might not expect a physical one. Perhaps if you rushed him, but could you take him off guard? Up close, he couldn't use his fancy spells. But what would you do then? You still have to use magic to win. You can't just grab him and bang his head against the floor. Perhaps you could focus your power into the shape of a sword and attack him with that. Or maybe if you can distract him somehow, you could cast a spell that he couldn't block? Sword. Most the shimmering moonlight condenses into a weapon in your hand. Ooh, different outcome! Your first lunge, he dodges, rolling to the ground, but you recover quickly and strike again. In the confined space of the warded circle, there's nowhere to run. The final strike of your moonblade parts his head from his shoulders. Ooh, base younger than 15-year-old, here we go. You have won. And I take his head as a trophy and put it on the castle walls. Dip it in tar so all shall know. Ah, not good! Also can't see what my skills are, apparently. So, do I just ride this out now? Let's go back into mysticism. That's never failed me. Gosh darn it, my mouse is just spazzing today. Let's do lore. Long, long ago, the continent of Borealis was ruled over by a single Witch King, until a rival line of lumens challenged him for the crown. The resulting war went on for 100 years with powerful spells that damaged the land so badly that even now, no plants will grow. Legend has it that long ago, a horde of Yinvivi? Sure. On the back of the tentacled monster rode into the Valley of Mead, laying waste to all in their path. Their conquest was only halted by a lumen raised a great flood to drown the invaders. Legends say that the island domain of Manali was once a single island instead of a cluster, until an invading Novan queen raised a terrible pillar of fire that shattered the land into pieces. At the height of the Novan Empire, all the major dukes and duchesses were lumens, and they conquered their enemies with beams of light and terribly summoned monsters. Those monsters eventually broke loose, killing their captors and destroying the old capital on Garith Lake. The resulting chaos shook the empire. Once you defeated the king of Shanjia in a duel, the invasion was meant to be over. In practice, it is not quite so easy to expel a foreign army from your land, particularly when their leadership is falling apart. The remaining Shanjia generals seem surprisingly eager to go home and left without a fuss, but a large number of soldiers have broken rank and run amok, looting and pillaging their way through Nova just for fun. A number of loyal holdings have been damaged and valuables stolen. Not only do you lose them, but you will have to pay for repairs. With so many renegades on the loose, Nova seems likely to have severe bandit problems for years to come. When Togami died, he left behind a crystal, a mauve lumen crystal glimmering with pink where it catches the light. Such a pretty bauble from such an ugly event. Since Nova won the duel, this crystal is now rightfully your prize, but you have no idea what to do with it. For now, you lock it away in the royal treasury. Can I talk to my, buddy? Buddy old pal? We're gonna do divination and lore again. You study the interpretations of dreams. Ah, I'm so darn close. I'm almost to 100. With warnings that dreams are easily forgotten, misremembered, or warped by thoughts and desires rather than true visions. You study the stars and learning about the omens they hold, with warnings that the stars are seen by all, and their portents may not be meant for you. Okay, one more meditation, one more lore, and then we'll have those maxed. 200 years ago, a great force of darkness covered Nova, threatening to wipe out all life in the domain. It took the self-sacrifice of the Queen and her complement of lumens to defeat that doom. Only the Duke of Ursel refused to join in the defense and therefore survived. A lumen once tried to lift the curse from an enchanted spring whose water was poisonous and glowed green. After dispelling the magic, she tasted the water and fell dead. The green glow was not a curse, but a spell placed by Lumen long ago before to warn everyone away from the spring's natural poison. There's something going on that no one wants to tell you about. Servants avoid your eyes and scurry away. Ministers converse in low, worried tones. As far as you can tell, your territory is secure. No more attacks are underway, so what can be wrong? You lie awake in bed at night, worrying that perhaps all your choices have been the wrong ones. No, Magical Girl was never the wrong choice. That is a fact. Time has slipped by you so quickly. Only 2 weeks remain before your birthday celebration and your official coronation as queen. Have you done enough to build a stable Nova? Nope. I can tell you that right now. It is traditional for the palace to provide entertainment and refreshment for the common people when a new monarch is crowned. It is a rare opportunity for the poor of the land to dine like fine nobles. The size and scope of any such feast depends on what expenses the royal treasury is willing to bear. Respectable. I'm so sure we can afford to give everyone in the city some bread and sausage and a bit of cake. Let's see how much money I have. I have more money than before. Why are people worrying? We're fine. Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna max out divination, we're gonna max out lore. Things are great. You learn that the priestesses have other ways of requesting omens from the gods, but that they won't share them with someone not initiated into the mysteries. A lumen may willingly surrender control of his or her magic to another. This was how the Novan Empire came to dominate the world. A growing force of lumens focused on a single ruler, granting that king or queen immense power. It is now believed that the strong magical powers attract dangers. Therefore, after the Doom Shadow was banished, the crystals of the fallen dukes and duchesses were destroyed. Only the crown and the Duchy of Ursul maintained active lumens. What about that guy that just kind of killed down? I guess he doesn't count? That's cool. You awaken to the sound of chanting outside the castle. You stick your head out the window to see what's happening, then withdraw with a gasp. The peasants are rebelling! Hundreds, maybe thousands of them, with spears and pitchforks and torches all screaming for your removal. And here you are in your tower, with your armies depleted from the region. Oh my god, if I die now! Of course, you do have advantage over the mob. You are a lumen. Do you dare turn that power on your own people? Yeah, I do. You refuse to cower like a frightened rabbit. You will march out to them openly and show them that you have the power of the gods behind you. What would be difficult against soldiers and armor is instead ridiculously easy against untrained peasants. You barely have to wave your hand and people fall away, screaming and covered in burns. After only a few minutes, the crowd begins to flee in panic, leaving behind only the wounded to slowly get out of the way of the stampede. This is my special occasion. They are not ruining it. And let's see. Do I have anything to boost? Just for funsies, we're gonna be a magical girl accountant. So we're gonna max out accounting. Because isn't that what everyone wants to be? You study the art of laying custom duties and how these tariffs can affect the flow of goods in and out of the country. You study the cost and benefits of public education and health provisions. You study the effects of minting more coin to cover economic shortages. At this time last year, you were celebrating your 14th birthday. You were in the school garden surrounded by your friends. The teacher brought you tea and cake, while a wealthy merchant's son wove a crown of flowers for your head. Not in your head, that'd be kind of creepy. It didn't matter so much that you were a princess then. Your title was something for the future. Many of your peers would be duchesses or earls or the like someday, but not then. You were children. Your parents could not attend on the actual day, but they did send you wonderful gifts, some for you and some for you to share. And a week later, they came for a visit, and your mother took you with her through the countryside in a splendid carriage. It was the last time you would ever see her. You wonder if, wherever she is, she can see you now. You are 15 years old, a legal adult. You have worked and studied and suffered and prepared, and now the time has come. You kneel before the priestess, barely hearing her words as she recites the blessing. She calls upon the goddess to deliver peace, wisdom, and prosperity to you, and through you to all Nova. And then she calls upon you for your oath of rulership. Will you guide and govern and protect your people to the best of your ability, according to law and custom? I will. Will you, to the best of your power, uphold the ideals of love, honor, justice, and mercy?
I will.
Lords and ladies assembled, I present to you your undoubted queen, who has sworn you her loyalty. You who have come to give homage, will you do the same? One at a time, the heads of each duchy approach your throne and kneel to swear his or her service to you and your heirs. People of Nova, I give you Elodie, daughter of Fidelia, your true sovereign. What say you all? Long live the Queen! Long live the Queen! Long live the Queen!
Thank you. I will.
Ah! Once his daughter was secure on her throne, Jocelyn returned to his birthplace to focus on his duties as Ducas Calor. He was pursued by many women, but showed little interest in remarrying, directing them instead to his brother, the Duke of Mendoza. The subjects of magic and lumens remained a slightly uncomfortable once for the citizens of Nova, perfectly fine for their queen, who had inherited by divine right, but not something that the other people should be aspiring towards. Look at all the terrible things that happened when the power fell into the wrong hands. As an openly acknowledged lumen, Juliana, Duchess of Ursel, was met with public suspicion whenever she journeyed outside of her duchy. At times, that suspicion was accompanied by thrown vegetables. It did not matter that Elodie supported her fully as a member of the court and nobles. That only led to the commoners to whisper that Juliana was a bad influence on their queen. Juliana's perpetually unmarried status was even more worrying than those with the waggling tongues. What if that influence rubbed off on the queen and left Nova with no heir? Dude, she's 15. It's gonna happen. Kiddos are coming. After the failed invasion, relations with Shinjia remained tense. First came the recriminations and demands from the Queen of Shinjia, devastated by the death of her husband, which Elodie ignored. Next came the subtler approaches, the quiet gratitude, and then offers for alliance from ministers who were thrilled to see Togami down. Elodie ignored those also, which was just as well, since the next thing to arrive was the preserved head of one of those traitorous ministers, sent by the Queen of Shinjia as a warning. There was no sign of war in the immediate future, but there was not likely to be an alliance either. Elodie eventually married a foreign duke in order to advance alliances and promote Novian strength. It was not a love match, but the two parties learned to respect and care for each other. They raised 2 children, a son and a daughter. As a lumen, it was Elodie's responsibility to defend Nova from monstrous threats. She decided that the monsters within the realm were eventually every bit as dangerous as those outside, and left herself to the task of conquering the old forest. Each monster would have been identified and carefully studied in order to defeat it without upsetting the balance. It would take many years to reach the heart of the forest, but Elodie was undaunted, and thus Queen Elodie's legacy stretched into the future. Yeah! Got through it without dying. Miracles do happen. Follow your dreams. So, that is Long Live the Queen without a death, by way of Magical Girl. I'm sure there's other ways you can do it. Like if I went just for being a proper court lady. That might be fun to try to play the political game. Maybe I'll do that next time. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm glad you got to see me not die for once. So yeah, dreams come true and follow yours. I'll see you next time. Bye.